Welcome to 1322 Life, where faith meets financial strategies. I'm Bree Smith, CPA, and I believe that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, as stated in Proverbs 13:22. This podcast is your guide to building generational wealth God's way. Heavenly Father, I just ask for you to be here with us. God, I ask for you to speak through me, any and every opinion and advice that I give. And Lord, I just ask for you to just show me how to respond in alignment with your word to your people. Thank you for allowing me to host this podcast. Thank you for everyone that views and supports it. In Jesus' name, amen. Today is going to be so much fun. We have a few different ones, and some of them are dealing with marriages, and others are just dealing with personal issues that just happens in life and how it affects your finances. It seems like everything affects our finances, right? So our first one is, my wife wants separation 4 months after marriage, but we're in the middle of buying a house together. Need advice. Yikes. Just from like the beginning, I'm like, wait a darn minute. And as you know, you can submit your at 1322life.com. That's again 1322life.com. No semicolons. Go there today to submit your Thorn letter so that I can answer any problems that you may be having. Until you guys start submitting them, we're going to be taking them from Reddit or AI. Right now, everything's been coming from Reddit. They've been giving us some really good ones, but at some point, if we run out of good stuff on Reddit, we will probably switch to AI. But please submit your Thorn letters on 1322life.com so that I can help you. Hey guys, I'm really struggling and could use some outside perspective. My wife and I had what I thought was a perfect 4-year relationship before getting married 4 months ago. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any couple, but we always worked through them together. Then everything changed. 2 months after our wedding, I started noticing concerning changes. She became increasingly distant. Her texting dropped off significantly. She asked me to spend a weekend away so she could have space to miss me. When I returned, things seemed better at first, but then she drops this. She needs an emotional separation. Could be a month, could be a year. She's not sure. She says she needs to work on herself and feels our relationship is overburnt to her because we're always together. Here's where it gets complicated. We're in the middle of buying a house together. Already put down a non-refundable $10,000 deposit. Ooh. She's now living in a separate room in our place. She turns off car connection so I can't see when she goes out and doesn't tell me where she's going. At least probably she thinks that I stalk her. That's why she does it. She gets angry when I ask who she's spending time with or asking too many questions, which for me just look normal. I have nowhere else to go if things fall apart. Should I give her the space she's asking for? Am I overreacting or missing red flags? Would really appreciate any advice from people who've been through something similar. Never been through anything similar, first and foremost. But let's break this down and what I'm hearing. First, it sounds like she's expecting marriage to be different than what it is. You know, maybe she was expecting some kind of like magic fairy tale. I'm not sure, but it sounds like basically she's now married and she doesn't see the difference. Maybe you guys have been married, living together the entire time, pre-marriage, and stuff like that. So maybe she just doesn't feel like there's any difference in it or there's any shift. For me, marriage made things different for me and my husband. You know, even though we were living together prior to getting married. But also, I don't know, I guess it gave me peace. So it was different because I've always been a God girl and I did not like living in sin. So like we got married fairly quickly. Right after, like not too long after you moved in, or maybe a few months into moving in, I started being like, look, you said you would marry me this year. It didn't happen. Like last year you were already talking, because we just had like a whirlwind relationship. Like we got in a relationship like 2 weeks after meeting or like talking. Hadn't even physically met yet. Like first we were just talking like 6 hours plus on the phone, but whatever. So like everything moved fast with us, and basically within a few months he was like, I would marry you next year. So then we moved in together, and then it was just like, oh, hold on, no ring. we're not married though. This doesn't feel right. So I mean, maybe it's just something is not meeting her expectations. Marriage is way more than a piece of paper, but I mean, without God at the center of it and things like that, I understand how the world can make it seem like it's the same thing. But her expectations are not being met, and she's trying to figure out what's wrong with her. Some people think she's cheating. I see that in there. I don't, at first, I was not getting that. At first, it was just seeming like she's trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with her that she doesn't have this feeling, this euphoria, or this expectation that she thought. That's why she said, like, first she was like, maybe he needs to go away a little while. Maybe I need time to miss him. Okay, that's not it. So now she's like, I just need some time to work on me. Like, something's wrong with me. Like, this isn't how this is supposed to feel or be. Something's wrong with me. Like, I need to do this away from you. That's what I get at first. Now, here's where it gets a little bit like, girl, what you doing? You're newlyweds, just married. You're living in a separate room. You're not allowing him to even be able to check on you to see where you're at. Like, where are you going that he can't know where you're at? That's weird. That's a red flag for me. And your husband is asking too many questions by wondering where you're at, who you with, when you're turning off your location and things like that. That's normal. Like, how can he be your covering? And why is it this big secret where you outgoing? Like, like, so that then it's like, is she messing around? I don't know. I feel heavily that it's more so it just does not meet her expectations and she's lost. She definitely does need to figure herself out and work on her. But initially, my thoughts are don't buy the house because it just doesn't make sense to. And if you are, then you might be looking at an annulment. And if you are going to buy the house, like, go forward with it. But who really wants the house that they meant to be living in with their spouse or significant other? So, if you do finish purchasing it, then you'll just be ready to sell it fairly soon. You're saying you don't have anywhere to go. If this doesn't work out, then maybe you need to move into that house and let her stay wherever she's at, in the one that y'all are currently in. Maybe that's what happens. Whoever put down majority of that 10K, I'm pretty sure, y'all know who. That's who moves into the new house. The other one stays in the current house, and then y'all figure it out. And, you may be selling that house, though, within the next year or so. Who knows? But she seems extremely flaky. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I pray things are better now. This one, they're struggling with finances in my marriage. So let's see what's going on here. I could really use some outside perspective on this. My husband and I have had fully combined finances since we started living together. At the time, it felt like the right decision. We share bills, savings, and overall budgeting. We also each have a monthly fund money allowance that we keep separately and can spend however we want. Lately, though, this system has been falling apart. For the past few months, my husband has been spending all of his fund money very quickly, and on top of that, he's been overspending from our shared grocery budget. It often gets to the point where there's nothing left for actual groceries, and I end up using my own money just to make sure we have food. So in practice, he gets to spend freely, including takeout/fast food, while I end up covering essentials and sacrificing my own fun spending money, and that feels really unbalanced. I've started thinking about separating our finances so I'm no longer affected by his spending habits. At the same time, I'm unsure if that's the right move. I don't know if it would actually solve the problem or just shift it. I don't want to feel like I'm being taken advantage of financially, but I also don't want to make a decision that could create bigger issues in our relationship. Has anyone been in a similar situation? How did you handle it? What separates fix this within our current system? I would try to fix it within the current system. One, me and hubby are having a talk, a very stern one at that, because like, you're gonna stop playing with me. That's not fair, it's not right. Two, I would just quickly move that money. That money that's left in that joint account after all bills are paid for the groceries or whatever, I would quickly shift it into my personal bank account this month. Hey, you like to play reindeer games and win stupid prizes? I can play one too. That's not necessarily godly perspective. That's Bree perspective. Just want to put that out there. And then I would use that money for the groceries. And if there's anything left over, I'll move it back. But what we're not going to do is keep taking it away where I can't spend how I want to spend. Or if there is actually anything extra, you spend it. He's been using up everything for the last few months. Have a little fun. Get your nails done, hair done, whatever it is that you wanted to do for you for once, because he's being very selfish, and maybe he'll understand if he gets to feel it too. But I really think that you guys need a counselor to talk through these things with, or some pastoral leadership and guidance, because what he's doing is not right. It's wrong, it's selfish, and it's just flat out inconsiderate and rude. And so I would definitely talk to someone, but I wouldn't let it happen again. I wouldn't let it happen again. I would transfer that money so darn fast, and I would use it for what we agreed for it for: groceries. Because my fun money is not grocery money. And if you don't have kids, all of a sudden, I guess everybody hungry. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe he'll have to sacrifice. Maybe he need to go work some overtime or something since he wanted to spend up the grocery money. How he gonna feel if he come home with no food in the house? That's the problem he creating. Like, I'm not gonna keep playing them games. But maybe go grocery shopping sooner. Maybe buy more in bulk. Definitely have a conversation. If you can't have one with one another, bring in a trusted counselor, therapist, and that will hopefully check him. Such selfish behavior, because it's just not right. Our next one is seeking advice on self-discipline. I'm mid-30s and I continue to struggle with financial discipline. I'm seeking advice on how others may have struggled with spending while in a low mental state, retail therapy type stuff. And we're able to turn it around and gain control. For some background, I'm financially responsible with bills most of the time. I will sometimes let credit card payments go, but I catch them back up every time. I don't make crazy great money, but it's enough for my living situation. I tend to do well abiding by my budget and leaving enough income each pay for food and variable expenses. However, if I get depressed, my immediate response is to immerse myself in retail therapy. I justify it by saying it's little cheap things, or I'll pull them on a credit card and justify just because I can afford their payments. My issue is I'm trying to save for a down payment on a house. I want to be better about this, but I keep making more debt for myself constantly. I feel grounded right now and don't want to spend money, but I know how I tend to get and would really love advice on it. Also, I have removed shopping apps from my phone. I re-download them when I get really sad. Amazon I keep as well because I have recurring orders on there for certain hygiene products and pet supplies. If it's recurring, you don't need the app for that. It's going to keep pulling anyway, so get it off your phone. Amazon is a trap. Love it. Still a trap. This goes beyond financial discipline, admittedly. I want to go to the gym, but I always flake out. I just don't seem to have the motivation or the desire. I want to exercise in some way, but don't have the willpower to drive, or the drive, maybe. Not sure. It's just a real struggle. Please, any tips and advice are appreciated. One, you need a therapist. Instead of retail therapy, get a real therapist. They'll be cheaper. You know, it's just a copay. That's what I would first recommend. Now, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I have loved and used Sonder Mind plenty of times, and you know, I had very caring counselors from there. I got 2 different ones. So once I outgrew one, I tried someone else. Both were phenomenal though for that stage of life after my dad died. So whatever it is that's hitting you, you need to get a hold of that, because it shouldn't be like going in and out of depression. Like, if you're like, unless like there's crazy grief going on all the time. I mean, this sounds like a recurring issue. I think you need to seek some medical help from someone that is qualified to actually help you here, because that's what's going to help you in all areas, because you just like are lacking the motivation, and so you need to go get help. Definitely seek therapists. The other thing is, it doesn't matter about like deleting apps and stuff is not really enough of a barrier, because like you said, you just re-download them. Find a new outlet, a healthy outlet, something that's a healthy hobby, or something that at least doesn't involve spending money. For instance, binge watching TV. Is it a waste of time? Yes. Is it fairly free? Yes. Netflix got so much stuff. Pureflix has so much stuff. Pluto TV, which is free, has so much stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of free apps. There's a bunch of paid apps that are fairly, for less than $20, you can just binge watch for the entire month. or however long your funk lasts. You don't have to spend a nothing. So that could be an option, right? And the other thing is like that's probably way better for you is exercise. I literally had a therapist tell me I want you to go outside and just walk for 30 minutes each day. Like that is going to create in your body what these pills that they want to prescribe you will. That's what I was told, because I refuse to take anyone's pills unless it's like dire. Like, I'll take some cold medicine, some sinus medicine, some allergy medicine, some vitamins, but you're not going to drug me and start playing with like chemical stuff, chemical imbalances in my brain. Like, no, we're not doing that. And that's just me personally. If you need it, you go get it. But that is something that is at least a good first step and that they have recommended to me and that I love. So go out for a walk for 30 minutes a day in the sunlight and just, pray, talk to God about your problems and things like that. Because sometimes the problem's going to hit and you don't have a session for another 3-4 days or another week. Sometimes problems hit as soon as you get off with your counselor. I mean, who knows? So just get you a good counselor, but also create new habits that are not detrimental to your health or your finances. And so exercising is a really good habit, and you can define what that looks like for you. It can be walking, it can be running. I started running during COVID because I was just scared as heck of, getting COVID and it messing with my lungs, and it was really good. It was very therapeutic. Once, but then after, I had actually got COVID that one time, I didn't die, and I was like, all right, what am I running for? I'm good to go. But figure out what works for you. Go into a gym, go into a class. Workout classes may be good because then you can maybe find some friends, some buddies that are regulars. You become a regular, then they'll be looking for you. It gives you like an accountability component. So just figure out something healthy to do instead, because right now what you're doing is self-sabotage, and you're not alone. A lot of people do this with their finances. It's normal, but it doesn't have to be your normal or something that you continue to succumb to. So hopefully this helps you, and I hope you choose different. For our next one, again, if just a reminder, if you want me to be able to answer your questions or things you have going on, please write into 1322life.com. Go on the website, choose Thorn letter. I'll ask the team to kind of put a little blurb in here on the replay, and it will just be 1322life.com, and you just navigate to the bottom where it's like insert your Thorn letter. You can be as anonymous as you want to. You notice I haven't said any names. I don't know who these people are, so you don't have to have a name. You can't have a name. It's all up to you. But if you want to know if you heard from me or whatever the case may be, then maybe you at least give yourself a pseudonym. All right. But for this next one, they said, considering starting over to have a spark in my life, am I making a mistake? 24 male, I'm a scientist in the US. My job is just okay. I make decent money and good work-life balance. My life has been really lonely for the past 5 years. My family has totally destabilized. I never had aunts, uncles, cousins in my life, and I don't have any friends. No significant other. Each day is pretty difficult to get out of bed. I've been pretty fed up with feeling empty all the time, so I've questioned endlessly whether my career is right for me. It's caused a lot of self-doubt, but I stuck it out, and it's gotten me this far. The work itself is not bad, but nothing glamorous, but it doesn't fill the emptiness. I'm at a crossroads now where this emptiness in my life isn't going away, but my career, which ironically is the only thing I have that is relatively stable and secure, isn't fulfilling my life in the absence of other things. Whenever I think about the future, I get queasy and hopeless. I feel my only option is to choose a career that lights a fire under me and will fulfill me regardless of my social circumstances. I have a couple ideas, but most would require me starting from scratch. Is it worth making such a drastic change and starting over? So first, I'm sorry that you're feeling this way, but that emptiness is loneliness. You need some friends and you need God, You need to get grounded, with the Lord and allow him to fill you up and fill every void. But you need people. We're not put on this earth to be alone and lonely. There's somebody for everybody. I love Big Bang Theory. And that was a group of friends, a group of scientists, and they were into the same things that maybe other people are not into. Just it wet their whistle, it made them happy and they enjoyed it. And so you need to find your group. Maybe you need to try and start socializing with some of the people on your job. If they're all a lot older than you or something, and you're like, hey, this is going to work for me. I mean, start finding some hobbies. What are things that you're interested in? Like, are you into video games? Join some video game communities. Are you into chess? Someone told me that they were creating a chess team at their church even. Like, what are you into? What brings you joy? Like, what is something that you find fun? Are you into a lot of TV shows or movies or something like that? Is there maybe a forum you can maybe start finding some people at? What are some things that are going on in your community that you would like to see? Like, go online and look at events. Go to Eventbrite, go to Meetup or Meet Me. Go to some apps maybe where you can find some friends. I don't know if they do that for guys, but they have ones for girls. It's called like Peanut. But otherwise, like Facebook groups, things like that, you can find people in your local area that are into some of the things that you're into and that are planning to do things that you want to do, and then you go join them. So whatever it is, get involved. Get out of your house. Your job is not the problem. Your job is stable, secure, and gives you work-life balance. It's not an issue. The problem is you don't have any friends or loved ones really around you, and so you need to change that. So if your nuclear family, parents and siblings are either, y'all aren't getting along or folks have passed away, then you need to go ahead and find something else. You need to get a good church community, get a good friend group that is into what you're into, and just go be social. You have a social life problem, not a career issue. This is not about a career that lights your fire, because guess what? If you still don't have any friends, you're still going to have that void. If you don't have people, you need people. You really need people. Let me tell you, I don't have a ton of friends, but the ones I have, gold. Liquid gold, and they pour into you when you can't pour into yourself. You need a good friend. All right. And I think this will be our last one for today, guys. This one says, 44 male, single, self-employed, and stuck in a rut after a 2-year relationship failed. I'm thinking of selling my beach house and starting over. Am I crazy? Well, let's find out. All right. The relationship and the breaking point. I, 44 male, recently came out of a 2-year relationship that ended this past February. My ex is a brilliant woman, a doctorate in physical therapy, religious and fun, but she struggled with severe chronic anxiety and depression. She was very clear that she wanted marriage and children, but her lack of consistency was a After a year of dating, we planned for her to move in when her lease ended. She backed out at the last second due to anxiety. About 6 months ago, we found a high-demand puppy from an out-of-state breeder. She really wanted a dog because she thought it would really help with that anxiety/depression. She put down a $750 non-refundable deposit and spent weeks sharing pictures on social media and telling everyone, including my family and my brother's young kids, about the new addition. We did video calls with the breeder every few days to watch the puppy grow. Then 2 days before we were supposed to drive 6 hours to pick him up, she canceled. What the heck? She felt she couldn't care for him properly. I was left to manage the fallout, explaining the situation to my disappointed family and dealing with a rightfully upset breeder who had invested significant time in us. I did everything I could to be a partner, including attending her counseling sessions. Even her own therapist agreed that her inconsistency was something she really needed to work on, and that she understood my concerns about marriage and kids with such inconsistency. Yeah. Because she is Catholic and quite religious, she really wanted to get married and have kids. The final straw came when I had a necessary sinus surgery scheduled. She was supposed to stay with me to help me with my recovery, managing meds, cooking, and the general discomfort of the procedure. Instead, the pressure of taking care of me triggered her anxiety to come wake-up call. If she couldn't be there for a routine surgery, the partner I need for the major, for better or worse moments in life. You made the right call, man. The current rut. Since then, I've been in a major rut. I've been a self-employed headhunter for 10 plus years, finding unicorns for technical roles nationwide. Lately, I'm struggling to focus and I've lost the spark of my work. I work from home 2 to 3 days a week and solo in the office the rest of the time. The isolation started to get to me. My brother lives in the same town. He's married with 2 kids. My parents visit and stay in my guest suite to help him with the kids. While I enjoy seeing them, I often feel like the odd man out, the single guy with no kids, while everyone else's life revolves around family logistics. This weekend is a wedding for a childhood friend, and I'm dreading the comparison trap. As I see childhood friends who have wonderful marriages and kids, and a lot of them are recently retired military and don't have to work due to pensions. Another childhood friend is a high level wealth manager who travels the world to meet with his high end clients. Others are doing well in their careers but still working. The what next? I live in a desirable beach community and my home has doubled in value since I bought it. I'm seriously considering a total life reset. Selling the house, taking the equity and using it to travel or find a new home base. Career shift. Giving up the solo consulting life to find a remote recruiting role for a large company, maybe even working from a different country. I'm not sure what I'm searching for, but I know that if I'm in this same spot in 20 years, I'll be deeply disappointed that I didn't see more of the world or try something new. I'm looking for thoughts, ideas, or perspective from anyone who has done a total reset in their 40s. And am I crazy to sell a house in a great area to chase the unknown? I'm not even in my 40s. However, this is really good. You're not crazy. I think that it's valid. You're 44 and you're lonely and you still don't have a wife and kids and all the things. And I think that sometimes these like crappy situations can allow you to make a big life change that will like bring so much joy to your life. Your beach house has doubled in value. You may have bought it for like $700,000, $800,000 and it's worth 1.6 million now. You could be an overnight millionaire for all I know. I mean, I've worked with people that we're here in Virginia Beach and we're not in the highest cost of living area in the country by far, but those houses I've seen people buy for cash for well over $1 million. And if they doubled, then that would be a $2, $3, $4 million property, depending on what they purchased it for, what they sold it for, right? You could be sitting on a gold mine. You got millions locked up in this house and you are miserable. Shake it up. Do something different. It's great that you have family around and stuff, but I think it's also good to like find yourself a little bit and just do something completely, totally new. Live in a different country. Travel the world. You've made a ton of money. Like, live a life of freedom. Make some crazy choices. You know, don't do anything stupid, but crazy? Yeah, you should do something crazy. I'm always team move overseas. So that part is just like definitely. I think you made the right choice. It was a very hard choice, but you made the right choice to end that relationship. Or she ended it, but for you to not go back, right? And to have that wake up call. And now it's time for something different. So do something that involves more people, maybe the big firm or whatever the case may be, or maybe just work from overseas. You're working in a silo anyway. Like, what is stopping you from moving to Italy or Paris or wherever and just working from there? The American dollar goes far, so I say do it. Just do it. With big decisions like this, I would definitely take it to God too before I do it. But otherwise, he's literally the only person you have to answer to. You have no wife, no kids. Just do it. And hopefully, I pray that you are able to find a wife and, you know, you guys have some beautiful babies and you have a fulfilling life that you've envisioned. All right. So I'm going to pray us out. It's been so good for be able to do this with you guys today. But dear Heavenly Father, I just ask for you to cover all of us. God, thank you for allowing me to have this podcast. Thank you for everyone that's watching. I hope that they have a blessed week and weekend. Cover everyone with whatever woes they're dealing with in their life. God, I ask for you to just help them to feel your peace. Remove and release all the anxiety and depression. And God, I ask for them to just really come into a relationship with you, the Prince of Peace, the one who says that, the joy of the Lord is our strength. So please fill your people with joy and peace and comfort right now. And God, I just ask that they're able to make some great connections, make some new friends that are trustworthy and loving and caring and that will take care of them the way that you see fit. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.